Ladies and gentlemen, there are few greater feelings in the world than actively improving at the game of chess. Succeeding in something so mentally stimulating, so emotionally captivating. And in today's video, I'm specifically focusing on a very famous chess prodigy and rising talent, and that individual is named Frank. I've recently been making content with Frank. He's around 400 elo, and he got his first brilliant move. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Oh, and a friendly reminder, you can pre-order my book. Link is in the description. It's already top 35 on Amazon. That's crazy. All of you did that. Thank you so much. Folks, Frank gets an honorary Grandmaster title for today's video for getting a brilliant move for the first time. Everybody remembers their first brilliant move. Some of you may not, because you haven't gotten one yet, or because you get so many. Frank, a principled man at this point, starting his games with a king's pawn, e2 to e4. His opponent, Grandmaster 3s, responds with e5. All good so far. Now, I told Frank to play the Vienna. I actually gave him a homework assignment. I told him to learn the Vienna. He did what all good 400s do. He learned one move of the Vienna, and now he doesn't know the Vienna anymore. I will be teaching him a little bit more about the Vienna, of course. Or maybe I will teach him, King's Gambit or something completely insane. Well, so he plays the Vienna. He doesn't quite play the Vienna. We have a 4 knights. It doesn't matter. We have a 4 knights. It's a game between two 400s. If you took a sample size of every game the two 400s ever played against each other, the chance of this being the starting position is very, very high. Now, this is a very back and forth game. This is a slobber knocker, if you will. Bishop c4 is good, castles, and then, and d4 and so on. Now, I taught Frank to put 2 pawns in the center, and he's listening. This is beautiful stuff, and this is why you should listen. This is why putting 2 pawns in the center is a good thing, because when your opponent takes, you take with the knight, and now you've got bishops coming out, and you will be castling. Also, a lot of people at noob level don't know how to keep tension. They see that they can take something, so they do, whereas they don't need to take anything. This is very well defended, and the best move here at Grandmaster level is playing the move Bishop b4, which pins the knight to the king. So that would be the best move. Instead of that, Black plays knight takes d4. In 1 second, I may add, knight takes d4. And traditionally, this is actually pretty bad for white to bring out the queen because it's a bit dangerous. But actually in this case, it's not bad at all. The queen is very strong. You can also castle queenside. And the only way to get rid of the queen is with a knight. And that's not possible because you traded it. And this move is not very good because now that square is very weak. And I can still go here and I can, develop, and you've blocked your bishop. It was a very short-sighted decision. Which is why taking on d4 is bad, and Black follows up with an even worse move in 1 second and loses the game on the spot. The game is over. Bishop to b4, and we see this. This is why Black should have played bishop b4 in this position, because Black actually made one inaccuracy and then proceeded to hang a bishop. Look at Black's time management. 1 second, 1 second. You 400s need to stop doing this. If you are 400 elo in chess, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop booting up. You need to stop booting up a 10-minute game and playing every move in 1 second. Knight takes d4, inaccuracy, 1 second. Bishop b4, hanging a bishop in 1 move to the queen that you just brought out. And you did all of that in 2 seconds. Why are you playing a 10-minute game if you're going to lose all your pieces in 2 seconds? I mean, if you want to last 2 seconds, play bullet. All right? Or go on a date or something. Anyway, now Frank is winning. All right? Frank is winning. Terrific. He's won a bishop. Fantastic stuff here. Now, how do you win this position? You got to develop what hasn't been developed yet, and you got to castle. All right? Bishop g5, bishop f4, bishop d3, you got to castle. I don't hate Frank's next move, but I don't like it either because he's moving something that he already moved, which is just a bad habit. In this position, you obviously have to look for checks. This check doesn't do anything. Black just blocks. You can't take anything. So just develop a piece. I don't hate this move because he's up, so I don't care that he's trading. I think knight d5 is completely fine. Of course, Black takes, because that's what Black does. And now Frank is just up a clean bishop, all right? Queen e7 check. Now, here Frank plays a really sophisticated move. A lot of beginners, they think, I'm in check. So I have to move my king. No, you can block with a bishop. All right. Either is good. Frank chooses this one. And in this position, something absolutely catastrophic happens. Frank's opponent plays c5, attacking his queen. And some of you more advanced and experienced folks will realize the queen doesn't have to move here at all. What's more forcing than attacking a queen? You could maybe give a check, but that would be the queen moving. You could give a check, but that's illegal because you're pinned. So what? Well, you see, Frank could have passanted this pawn. And he missed it. He missed it. He saw his queen was hanging, so he gave a check. Do I hate him for it? No. Queen b5 check. Now, his opponent blocks the check. He blocks the check, but now the bishop blocks the queen's vision of the pawn. Frank plays queen b7. Frank playing like a grandmaster. Frank playing like an absolute grandmaster. Now his opponent plays queen to d8, which is considered a slight inaccuracy, but obviously you're defending the rook. And now, dear friends, one of the greatest moves in the history of chess was played as Frank in this position played bishop g5, a brilliant move according to chess.com. Sensational stuff. Bishop to g5. The clouds opened up, and then you heard the angels sing. Ah. Actually, they probably sang Frank. Bishop to g5 hits the queen, and the queen cannot take because of this. Now, on the hierarchy of brilliant moves, this is a little lower than some other things. Chess.com gives you brilliant points when you play a creative sacrificing move that also happens to be like a top computer move. In this position, white can play probably about 10 moves and maintain an advantage. Like white can play h3, h4, g3, f3, f4, bishop e3, c3, b3, a3, castles, bishop, like literally any of the moves that I just played, white is probably going to be better, like +8. But bishop g5 is a very, very creative idea to try to deflect the queen away from the rook. This is very nice. And Frank, of course, he's 400, all right? Like, if any of you are parents or have younger siblings or are 4 years old yourself, you know that if a 4-year-old comes to the kitchen and says, look what I made, and they tell you it's a penguin and it looks like someone just diarrheaed on the floor, you tell them it looks like a penguin, okay? 4-year-old, spoiler alert, I don't know why you're watching this, but your parents are lying to you. It doesn't look like a penguin. So, bishop g5, it's a great move. It's beautiful. It's incredible. Very nice tactical vision. And you know what? I gotta give credit to the opponent. He ruined the party. He played the move f6. Now, what Frank should have done here is he should have followed up with another haymaker. He should have played bishop h5 check, and then he should have, like, sacrificed the bishop and got the... But Frank, principled man, played a brilliant move, induced more light squared weaknesses, and targets the pawn on d6, and his opponent plays king e7. And now Frank plays long castle. And let's see as Grandmaster Frank on his climb to 500 elo converts this position, up a bishop and a pawn off the heels of the first brilliant move of his career. It's like when a baseball player hits their first home run. Rook to b8, queen takes a7, and now he is up 2 pawns, and he will zig and zag out of here. How do you win a winning position? You either simplify or you deliver a mate. If I'm playing white here, I'm going bishop g4, and I'm going to trade my queen and my bishop for black's queen and bishop, and then I'm going to get my rook in, take a few pawns, and make a queen. g5. All right, now I don't like bishop d2. It's a little bit too congested. I would rather go bishop to g3, but okay, fine. Now, in this position, Frank finds his way out. This is really, really nice. He does find his way out. His opponent plays queen to c7 and is probably going to try to bring the rooks down here. It's far from over for black. If black hides his king on g7 away from danger, white still has a responsibility to find a way in here. Like, this is not over. And also, you can use the b file for counterplay, all right? Now, Frank, it's time for Frank to use his bishops and line up his rooks, okay? As I always say, when you're up material, you have to utilize it. But first, he saves his queen. I don't blame him. He is British after all. May the queen obviously rest in peace. And should there be a future queen, obviously, everybody from from that part of the world will in fact be protecting her. All right, so my sincere condolences to everybody from the UK, or I guess from England. I guess it would be England. I never know. As an American, by the way, I never know. Like my whole life, I grew up saying people said UK, then they say England. So, but please forgive me if I say some incorrect terminology. I'm an American. I don't know any other country exists. So H5. Now, H5 is a peculiar move for sure. And here, Frank starts doing some things that I absolutely hate. Okay, and this is going to be a teachable moment. Frank has a queen, 2 bishops, and 2 rooks. His opponent's king is in the center. What should he be doing? He should be mercilessly hunting the king. Like, he should be putting his rook, putting his queen. He's got to bring the heavy artillery to the king. H3 is one of the worst moves, I think. Frank, it's not a bad move. Like, Frank here could probably just leave the house for an hour and come back and probably still win. Like, that's how good his position. Guess not, he would lose on time. But then, Frank, what are we doing here? Like, why? No. Just because your opponent is pushing pawns in chess doesn't mean you also have to push pawns. This is a PSA to all of you. H3, H4. Now, he starts doing, like, why is the opponent trying to trade pawns? The opponent is dead lost. The only thing the opponent can do here is go for the king. And, folks, this is what you should do. If you're losing, you gotta, look at this. You know what would have been a better, like, bishop b5. Like, you gotta create some threats, all right? You're completely lost. Now, Frank takes, now the opponent tries to sneak a pawn through. Now here I like what Frank does. I think this was an accidental good move. Frank plays g5. When I say accidental good move, I mean it's a good move. And the idea is clearly, you know, to open up the king, right? The king is now wide open and the king cannot escape. So the king is going to stay in the center. Check is going to come in and you got to mate soon. All right, bring the rook, bring the bishop, bring the other bishop. Like you got something. Why I call it an accidental good move is because after fg5, Frank goes here. I mean, he doesn't play bishop takes g5. And again, it's plus 14 or 17 or it's plus 10. I mean, he's completely winning. Why is he completely winning? He's up a bishop and 2 pawns, and also black's king is in the center of the board. That's why he's completely winning. That is mostly why he is completely winning. And now we have gf4, and again, Frank is not moving the bishops in front of his rooks. He's got to use the bishops in front of the rook to get to the king because he has a material advantage, and the only way he's going to convert it is by giving a mate. Oh god. Now, c4. First of all, free pawn, L plus bozo plus ratio plus you fell off. Queen takes c4 is just a free pawn. But Frank goes here. I don't hate it. He's going to the king. He's finally got it together. He's got his ducks in a row. He's going to play queen g7 next. Pawn to h2 is a terrible move. Queen to g7, exactly as Frank planned, putting the king on the back rank. The brain here is firing on multiple directions. Okay, bishop c4 is crazy. That is a crazy move, but I don't hate it. And now at least you have an open file. And you have queen g7, Frank. Let's go. Rook h4 is not bad. It's trying to, you know, pin. It's doing something. Give a check. Give a check. The king is wide open. Give a check. I love it. Beautiful stuff. King f7. Now, there are no checks here, but you can line up the bishop, and that's actually mate. That is mate. Queen g7 is a mate because the king's got nowhere to go. All right, queen g7 covers all the escape squares. In this position, Frank plays a move that if you gave me $1 million, I would not be able to explain to you. He plays the move a3. I don't know what his plan was. Maybe he was worried about back rank mate, but I got news for you. There was never any back rank mate possible because rooks are not kangaroos. And not to mention, that actually doesn't stop back rank mate at all. That is still back rank mate. So I don't know. He plays a3. Now his opponent plays bishop b5, which, again, Frank is winning, so he should trade some pieces here. He does. And now make a battery. I mean, he just recently learned about batteries. He should be making a battery pack. No! Frank, completely unprompted, hangs a rook. He hangs a rook to... so unnecessarily, may I add. Frank, and you know what the craziest part is? He's still winning. It's still plus 60. The hands of God were going to make sure that in his first game playing a brilliant move, Frank was going to win. His opponent plays rook to h5, and now Frank justifies this plan. Rook to g7 on the board. That gets an honorary brilliant for me. It wasn't actually a brilliant, but it gets an honorary brilliant. King e8, he takes. Rook h takes d5, and now the rook hits the queen But the queen can go here. Boom. Frank wins. Now, you know what's funny? In this position, this is almost mate, which is why you always look for checks. That's almost the mate. Like, there is a universe in which the king was here, and so white has to do this and never lose the queen, all right? And then, you know, white is still threatening that. A great game by Frank, all right? Frank started this game with an opening we learned. He played a 4 knights. He got a good position. His opponent gave him a present. Frank proceeded to trade knights, protected his king, took a couple of pawns. This is sensational. Then he castled. And now the way you win a game like this is you don't block your pieces. Your bishops need to target things and then get your rooks in the game and stop all of this dilly-dallying stuff with the pawns. You don't need to do any of that. Swift execution of the opponent. Get to the king. Don't dilly-dally. Don't play random pawn moves. Don't hang rooks. And yet, with all that, we still converted and we won a very nice game. And that is how Frank got his first brilliant move. I'll see you back here for another Frank video when he hits 500 elo. Now get out of here.